Morning class. Let's roll into it. Good one at a time. How can Peru balance preserving Machu Picchu's culture and historical significance? What's sustainable tourism? Well, they like to limit personnel, having peak and off seasons, and limiting how many people come in through there, entrance tickets, and time limits in certain areas, and having specifically guided tours. Moving on, number 2, what role should international organizations like the USNL play in helping destinations? Well, they do help organize and impact great. They have a positive side on their economic powers, but also they have a downside to that. When in the cases of like a one size fits all factors, you know, enforcing one strict rule and type of policy and controlling your parks can have an effect on maybe another one that probably has more or less tourism, and that can affect a state's or country's economic impacts on it, especially if they rely heavily on their tourism. Number 3, compare Machu Picchu's tourism management approach with the United States. Both the U.S. and in Peru, they kind of enforce a lot of the same stuff. You know, they want the better for their national parks and their environments. Things that can go on with that and that can be shared is Machu Picchu has the whole consider of ecological sensitive areas, and the U.S. can enforce that better, and especially with the time entry system as well. And then what the U.S. can give to another country would be how the U.S. does a lot very good on educating their people and locals on preservation topics in their systems, and then incorporate better surveys. The U.S. does a big job on doing that. They're always like, hey, survey this, like, tell me about your experience and your time here at this national park. Number 4, make a personal connection. I have visited many national parks, especially because it's free for military personnel and their families for a lifetime pass. And one of them that it's very popular for me and my husband to go to is Great Falls in Virginia. It's very beautiful, and one way that I know that this park, because we're very familiar, they're very big on a leave no trace. Like, that's any park in general, but a leave no trace, they hate, like rock stacking, because the impacts that it can have on animal environments and erosion and stuff like that. And it makes it more pet friendly. A lot of parks tend to avoid people having pets because people and their owners cannot pick up after their dogs, so that does affect a lot of the sustainability in our environment. Just leave no trace. Simple as that. Number 5, what do you still want to know about visiting either Machu Picchu or United States National Parks? Me personally, I think I would like to visit Machu Picchu. It's very interesting, and there's a big historic background behind that. It will be nice to know another country's reasoning and historic background more in a deeper level compared to here in the States. Education is always a good thing to have when you're visiting a country, and why not? If something so popular that you will only get to see once in a lifetime, because it might not be there any longer, would be great. Honestly, if you were in those shoes, what would you do? What would you prefer to do if you only had a once in a lifetime opportunity to see another country's places like that, especially when they're deteriorating so quick and they're only going to be around for so long? Other than that, this discussion board was really good this week, especially with me having such a big personal connection on national parks and stuff like that. Have a good day.